Hello everybody and welcome back to Simon's Gaming Academy. Today we're going to be doing a battle report between myself playing Jakes and Gravediggers against my opponent Connor playing Eviscerus in Necrofactorium. So the scenario we're going to be playing in this game is Wolves at our heels. So you score 1 victory point for securing one of the 40 or 50 mil objectives. You score 1 victory point for scoring the flag terrain. And then you've got this extra little bit to the scenario, basically that at the end of the turn you move your 40 mil objective 3 inches, and that's got to be towards your opponent's table edge. If you eventually are able to move your 40 mil objective beyond the midpoint, so across the 24 inches at the center of the table, you score 3 VP and the 40 mil objective disappears. And as you will probably notice in this game, we both forget to move our 40 mils, basically the entire thing. So cool, we're good at games. The final element of Wolves at our Heels is a decreasing kill box. So at the start of the first player's third turn, and then every round thereafter, the kill box gets 2 inches smaller. So essentially, instead of having to be outside of 12 inches of your board edge, it goes to 14 turn 3, 16 turn 4, 18 turn 5, and then 20 turn 6. If you're not dead by then, I'd be very surprised. So I don't honestly think that this scenario is better for myself or for Connor. Potentially maybe for me, because Eviscerus doesn't like being pushed up into the center of the board, but as you can see, there's that forest that's right in the center that he can just hide behind essentially for the entire game and be relatively safe. And so he doesn't really mind that the kill box is getting smaller. He just comes up further behind the field, and I don't have anything really to ignore that forest or to get around it, except for pushing through his dudes, which he's going to pile into the center. And I know that he's going to do that. He's got limited options for what he can score those 250s with, so my strategy is mainly going to be trying to get rid of any warjacks that he can use to score those objectives, and then essentially, because I've got too many warjacks, I should be able to win the attrition battle in the middle and then have scoring units on the objectives, and he basically only being able to either score with the Eviscerus, which he won't do because he'll die, or he will just send units to contest, which I can then kill and then rescore again. So I think, yeah, the way that the scenario is set out, I think it, actually now that I've talked through, it maybe favours me a little bit, right? The Cryx army, so he's got a Harpoon on one of his Malefactors, and that essentially means that I need to be careful with how I'm positioning. I've got a lot of shield guards, which is good into this matchup, but he does have the ability to move that one of my models with the Machine Wraith, and as you will soon find out, that becomes very relevant very quickly. So I should normally be able to protect against the Harpoon with shield guards, unless I misposition them. So we're going to go into turn 1 here. So Connor won the roll for first turn. His first turn, from the number of times that I've seen played into me, whether it was using Gravediggers or Storm Legion, he's got a fairly normal play pattern for turn 1, which I guess is everyone's play pattern. Everything runs, basically. So he gets these Sludge Thralls up. The Sludge Thralls there's 1 unit on each flank, and they're both going to cap the objectives that are on each flank. So we have, before the game we clarified, I said that these little cactus patches, so there's one in the bottom right and one in the top left, I said that they were rough terrain, difficult terrain, and Connor mistook that to think that I meant that they provided cover, which was not my intention. We get to it a little bit later and clarify, but essentially those guys at the top, I had the expectation they wouldn't be in cover, but Connor did, and so we ended up going back to saying those two things provided cover. And so he's just running everything up, essentially. So the Bowl Thralls, how he's played them previously is that he will put them in this position when he goes first, then he's going to push them up the next turn onto that objective where my single unit of gun mages are, block them up and basically create a problem, because if I kill any Sludge Thralls, then he just explodes and kills the armor 13 models with a double 1, and then even if you're tough, you are corroded, and so the next turn you on a 3, 4, 5 or 6, the guy just dies anyway. Sludge Thralls are really good into armor 13 trenches, and that's just how the game goes really at this point in time. So he's moving everything up, he's putting his jacks dead center, he's hiding a lot of his important models behind this forest in the middle, and that forest becomes a pretty big focal point for the entirety of this battle. Eviscerus has moved up there, so he's going to put red line on one of the Malefactors, and then he's going to put Scything Touch onto one of the Criterions. just to get his spells out. And then, as you can see here, we're discussing exactly how the kill box works in this scenario. So again, from before, increases by 2 inches at the start of the third player's first turn, and then at the first player's fourth turn, fifth turn, sixth turn, gets another 2 inches. So essentially, you've got to keep moving up. So he's moving here to make sure that Eviscerus is obviously within the 12 inches. Not that it matters this turn, but it's just good positioning for next turn. He's got a bunch of these stupid bloody Mechanithralls that just become shield guards at a moment's notice. Oh, look, they just became shield guards. And then we have Chattermax come up. It's not Chattermax, it's Chatterbox or something like that. Anyway, Chattermax is the guy, the annoying stuffed toy from Bluey, so I just call him Chattermax. And then Andrew, who is the Cephalix model, however you want to pronounce it, that just went flying across the board there. He's the Ghost Walk bot. So he's quite decent because he just gives something Ghost Walk. So that's the end of Connor's first turn. He's done pretty good positioning. The the Sludge Thralls are all the way up. The Criterions are in a position that they're probably not going to get to charge next turn, but they are going to be able to put themselves on the objectives and be a pain in my ass, which, spoiler alert, they are. And then the Jacks are up there threatening. Okay, so he hasn't feated just yet. I don't believe. Maybe he did feat first turn. I can't remember. Anyway, let's just say he didn't feed at this point. So I start moving stuff up. So I'm looking at, I've got that body of water over there, which is my flag terrain, and so I'm trying to put guys, my trenches up essentially where they can go, where they can get some shots on some Sludge Thralls and potentially remove one or two, but then I forget that he's got the Stitch Thralls at the back, and so essentially, or Necrosurgeons, whatever they're called these days. They are called, sorry, I do need to get in the habit of naming these things specifically, Necrosurgeon Initiates. And so they can just bring a Sludge Thrall back, which is a real pain in the bum, because they're all grunts. So you can just bring one back with Grim Salvation, which is insane. And it just takes one guy. So you don't even really need to, like, you just empower that Jack that's at the top there twice, and then you bring back one of the Sludge Thralls, and then that's job done. Yeah. When I'm playing this, I completely, you can see that we're just discussing the cover bit, but essentially we now decide at this point in time that does provide cover, and then we get on with the game. So essentially that changes what I need to do. Instead of doing 2-man CRAs into those Sludge Thralls, I now need to do a 4-man to kill one guy. And then I leave him on, I think, like 2 wounds or something. And then the Trollkin sniper, who ignores cover, shoots the guy, explodes him. He doesn't get a tough, he gets removed from play. No, sorry, he doesn't get removed from play, just ignores a tough, and he gets taken off the table. But yes, for those of you playing at home, I completely forgot about Grim Salvation. I thought those guys were just Empower bots, but this is just my experience, and this is learning for both myself and for everybody else who's watching the videos at home. It's a very important lesson, and this is why I've been trying to get in as many games as I can recently, and as well as that, I've been trying to record the game so that I can watch them back and see what I did wrong. So as you can see here, I'm looking at line of sight, so that is the Malefactor there. I don't want him charging into my Valiant. He's got his charge threat range is insane. He must have done a turn 1 feat for me to be doing this. So I'm putting these guys out of line of sight, essentially. I'm making a mistake with the Patriot. Put him back because I need to do some other things first. I don't have, in this iteration of the list, I don't have Stellar, and so my guys can't move through each other after this point. Stellar's in every single one of these lists, just so I don't have this complication. So you can see here that I've run the Valiant up, and I've said, hey, if he wants to Harpoon me, then so be it, he can Harpoon me. The problem with that is that he's got a Machine Wraith hiding behind the forest, which is within 2 inches of the forest, which it can then apparate into, see through the forest, and charge that Valiant. And as you will see very shortly, that is exactly what happens, and it does not end well for me. Machine Wraith Dominator. There you go, that's the official name for that model. So the Rowdies move up and create a Cloud Wall. Connor doesn't really have an answer to the Cloud Wall, which, again, influenced the list that I'm now playing with them has a unit of Commandos, so if I really want to, I can make a wall of clouds with Commandos and the Rowdies at the same time. So we're just moving up, putting up Synergy, we're putting Silence of Death on the Rowdies, and we're just making sure everything's within 12 inches, essentially, for feed purpose. Sorry, not for feed purpose, just for power purposes. What's called focus allocation purposes, and keeping them within control. We put the wall out. I completely forgot that the machine race is even there, so I probably should have put the wall somewhere else so that that Valiant couldn't be dragged in, and there would have been a few places I could probably put it to make it more difficult, probably not to stop it completely, but essentially if I just put it across the middle of the board, it would have been very difficult to drag him in with the Harpoon models at the back. Anyway, that's fine. That's much of a muchness. Alright, and then my Jacks walk up behind the clouds, the Gun Mages over on the other side, because I knew that Connor likes to run up and engage stuff and explode on my armor 13 stuff with tough. I move them back so that they're just within 9 inches of the unit objective, so if he doesn't come and contest it, then I can move on to it with my Gun Mages and claim it this turn, which is a nice little strat. So here he's measuring out the Machine Wraith. The Machine Wraith can move to there. He's going to be striking over a barrier, so my Valiant will be Def 14, but when you roll 8 naturally on both of the attacks, does it really matter? Probably not. So I'm realizing my mistake now, and I'm being like, I didn't need to be within 13 of that Machine Wraith. And so from every game from here on, so I played another game against Cryx after this, which was Eviscerus, who had a Machine Wraith, and I can tell you now that all of my Jacks were out of 13 inches of that Machine Wraith at every possible opportunity. So Connor's considering what to do, and he's like, well, look, I may as well just charge with this Machine Wraith, because he can see through, he can just go there, there's nothing else that he can do to boost the attack roll for this Machine Wraith, so he's just got to go for it. And he's got 2 goes at an 8 on 2 dice. Now the chances of that happening are roughly 65%, so if he doesn't get this, like I get a free Machine Wraith, like it's a free 4-point model, it's a free first synergy boost, and Jakes would probably just go over and kill it and sprint back, and that would have been a really good way to kind of start my turn. But unfortunately, as you will see, he walks in, he hits it with the Machine Wraith. It doesn't need to break armor, it doesn't need to do anything, it just needs to hit him, and that's what it does. So Connor's going to walk through the fire, so the the Valiant catches on fire at this point in time. And then he has a shot at one of the Gun Mages. I take it on the Patriot, and basically it does nothing. It's a volley gun, so it's power 10, and so it's fine. Nothing else happens to this. So the Machine Wraith is now dead center. Like, again, it is dead center. It is able to be, it is no longer incorporeal, so I can charge it and put attacks into it. Again, now that I'm watching this, I know that I would probably go in with Jakes first and kill it, and then walk away, and then everything else goes in, but that's fine, you live and you learn. So he's moving around his stuff to empower his Harpoon Malefactor at this point in time, so he gets a couple of extra focus. And this Jack is redlined, so it's going to take some damage at the end of the activation, but essentially he goes for a walk to there. I've got Evasive on the heads of these guys, which, again, I've changed after the fact. He boosts and hits a 7, which is exactly what he needs because they're at 5. He then cranks the damage and does, what's that, 16, I think it's about 14, so that's 30, and I'm armor 21, so it does 9 damage to the 4. Drags in the Warjack. I choose, so where he landed, he would have been in Scything Touch range of that Criterion that's got it, so I walk him out of the range of that one. Just looking at this now, he must not have feeded. I'm just going to say that where we are here. So, because I think he feeds this turn. So he drags the Valiant in, he doesn't do any damage on the melee attack, it runs out of focus so it doesn't do anything, but then the Criterions charge in, and with Scything Touch, like, they just make mincemeat of it, essentially. So poor Valiant goes down. Oh yeah, that's right, in the third roll again he rolls a 665, and I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, it's dead. Take it off. That was a pretty ineffective use of a 13-point Warjack, and makes me sad. And that was when he took damage from Redline. So then this next Criterion in the middle just runs up, and essentially he's just trying to contest both of these objectives. I think he realizes that his jacks are out of position to score these objectives in the second turn, and so he's putting some models that are difficult to shift in there to contest them. But this is like ideally what I want, and I can see that now that I've played a few more games with Jakes. Like, this is an amazing setup for Jakes to do well, and I just don't capitalize on it. Just because of my inexperience. This is literally my first game with Jakes that I'm playing against Connor, so I've learned many lessons since then. So they Grim Salvation, they bring back the Sludge Thrall. Turns out that even if you need to sacrifice both your movement and your action, you just get placed anyway, is what I've been told, which seems dumb. Like, you should be punished for that model coming back, but apparently you don't get punished, so whatever. So then the back Sludge moves in to be on the 40 mil objective. These guys move up and they start doing some sprays. Their sprays are fairly ineffective. They need 7s to hit. 13 is pretty good. And they had to take a couple of shots. He kills one guy, and then I think I tough the second one, or something along those lines. Anyway, Trenches versus Sludge Thralls is not going to end well for my Trenches, but that's fine. We're going to fight that one out anyway. And he hasn't come and engaged my flag terrain, which is good for me because it means I can score it next turn without much contention. There are gun mages there already, so they can just stay there basically and cap that objective, and I can send the Trenches off to try and fight his guys. Mechanithralls move up. They get Shield Guard again, I'm pretty sure. Measures kill box, moves up, and let's see if he feats here. Hey, look, he's feated. So because I'm such a gracious opponent, give him my dig-in tokens because I've got like 15 of them because half my army can dig in if I really wanted to. He does run up the Sludge Thralls to engage on the right-hand side, which is also good for me. So then it's time for my turn. And I fuck around playing with dials. But anyway. It's all about time wasting. So his second turn, he's taken quite some time, so I think I've probably got the advantage here, but I am going to rage out, let's say, this turn. Because all I need to do to score those 2 objectives in the middle is kill a Machine Wraith and 3 Criterions, and you think that I would be able to do that without much issue. And spoiler alert for the audience at home, it takes my entire army to try and clear out these guys, and boy do I get annoyed even trying to do it. Alright, so here we're just moving these guys up to where they can be within range of the objectives and empower some Warjacks. So empower, and then empower on the far Patriot. Again, don't have Stellar, so I can't play Warmachine on easy mode with Tactician, so I actually need to sequence things correctly to get models through each other, which also people playing at home would understand that I don't actually have to do that because I'm going to feat this turn anyway with Jakes, and what I should do is go with Jakes first, feat, so that everything's got acrobatics, kill that Machine Wraith and sprint back. That's not what I do. So I'm going with the Rowdies first. They're going to try and kill the Machine Wraith. They're only mat 7 and he's defense 14. So I'm pretty sure they miss him. They kill a Criterion, they become battle driven. And at this point I'm thinking this should probably go pretty well. I've already killed 1. There's only 2 left. I've got all my Warjacks here. I've got all of the things that I can use for synergy purposes. Oh, that was a killing spree move, I think. So let's go into these Criterions. So let's get the Criterions up. So they're 11, 17. We're battle driven. They're 19. Right. So I'm power 11. So I'm dice minus 8. I should be doing 6 damage with each of these guys on average, and I'm just not getting the damage through. I put the other 2 guys into that second Criterion, and for whatever reason, that extra +2 armor from battle driven is just absolutely wrecking me. Poor Rowdies. The poor Rowdies. I'm not a big fan of the Rowdies for 9 points. I think I prefer the Black 13th, but that's an argument that can be made another day. So look, I'm trying to kill these guys. I'm not making much headway because he's healing back a lot of the damage that I'm doing. And so I push these guys out essentially just to get in the way. Right, make some room for the rest of my Warjacks to land. So this thing here is a forest. I should have been in the forest because there's really not a whole lot he can do to get at me. I think it's a forest. It must be a forest. I can't think of another reason why Jakes wouldn't be able to charge. So Gun Mages move up in power, all the Warjacks in the middle. And again, what I should be doing is moving Jakes up, maybe putting a couple of hand cannon shots into the Machine Wraith to kill it. Ideally what I should be doing is fighting it in combat, but I'm not able to fight it in combat. So this is the first Patriot that's going up. So what I'm trying to do is get him within 1 inch for his Trench Blade into that Machine Wraith and start the synergy chain going. Because once you start that synergy chain going, then, you know, it's good times for all. So we're doing the light into that Machine Wraith. So we're going to boost the hit. Oh, do we boost the hit? Please, God, let me boost the hit. Yeah, good. So synergy goes to 1. So all the other Warjacks in the battle group are going to get +1 hit and damage. So he's going into the Machine Wraith. I'm pretty sure. No, apparently I'm going into Criterions. But I get that one. Right. So again, I'm only at 1 synergy and I've already killed a Criterion, so we're happy days, I thought. So we boost damage on the Machine Wraith. Is that what we do? We just buy attack? No, we just buy attack. That was a mistake. Should have boosted the second attack onto the onto the Machine Wraith to get rid of it. I think I was trying to leave it for more easy synergy targets. And now here, I'm stuffing around trying to figure out how to get stuff through other models, and if I'd just feeded and done acrobatics, God, it wouldn't have even been an issue. So we're just measuring out here what I'm able to do. So these barriers here, again, are -2 movement if you don't have Pathfinder. My Patriots all have Pathfinder, so it's not an issue for them. And we're going in, we're trying to kill their Criterion, we're at power 13, we do nothing, and then I'm just rolling absolute trash here. So we do nothing with our Patriot with 3 power. Excellent, very good. So this guy charges. Does this guy charge? Cool. So we're charging, right? So we've got power 14, we go to power 16 on the blade. So we're dice -3. I'm like, yep, dice -3. That's fine. We should be able to do this. We do 4 damage and then he heals. All right, good. We then do the polearm. It hits, and then again, dice minus, what is it? Dice -5. I do 3 damage, he heals back. That's another Patriot that's got it and done sweet fuck all. But now the synergy is at maximum, and so I need to kill this Criterion because I need to kill both the Criterion and I need to kill the Machine Wraith, and both of them should already be dead. I don't know why they're still alive. But anyway, so we're now moving my Valiant away from the side that it should be on to come over and kill this Machine Wraith, right? So we do that, it comes over, hits the Machine Wraith, kills it with wounds to spare, right? And focus to spare, which has got nothing to do with, so nothing happens. Alright, so we're just wondering what I should be doing. My Volley gun here, there's nothing really in line of sight, and so we're just rolling for shits and giggles, basically. And doing nothing to that Criterion. So then I'm measuring the kill box because I don't want to kill box Jakes. I don't know what I'm really that afraid of in this list. He's got the Harpoon Jack, which if I just put a shield guard next to her, it's not an issue. And then I move her up and basically go, alright, we're just going to put some boosted hand cannon shots into that Criterion. Because I think at this point he's got like 1 or 2 wounds left or something like that. And so it should be easy, right? You know, dice off, I think D-Cell's up, so he's 21, so he's dice off 9, so I'm probably not doing a great job of this. I put a wall up just to make it more difficult for that Malefactor that's over on the side with the axe and shield to get into me. But then I'm like, look, this guy Oh, and then I put my feed token down. So I have feeded at this point. I should have just done her first and feeded and job done, right? And then everyone can move through each other. There aren't any problems with where everyone's being positioned. And then finally I'm like, all right, this Valiant's going to go, and he is going to make short work of this Criterion because I am so... Oh, no. Oh, God, I sent the Patriot in. Oh, God, he sent the Patriot in. So this guy toughs, and then he heals again, so he's got 2 wounds left. And then I go, I've only got 2-inch reach on him, so I can't actually do much. I'm a power 15, which is fine, dice -4. But I need to do... Like, I need to be rolling good dice, and I'm not rolling good dice, unfortunately. And he's got no knockdown as well. Has he got no knockdown? No, he is knockdown. I just can't kill him. It's not good. So look, we then go with this Valiant, who he's got Relentless Charge, so he can go 8 inches. I go, he can't get over that objective, so we need to drop a fuel crate to move him another 2, so that he's now got the range to get to that Criterion. So he charges into the Criterion. Unfortunately, I've mispositioned that wall as well, because the wall is not where I want it, because it's not going to provide cover to anyone there. So I'm just... This is not a great turn. And as you can see on my clock as well, I'm under 20 minutes now. Like, this turn has taken 25 minutes, because I'm just umming and ahhing about what I'm meant to do. Again, this is inexperience at play, but it's... You know, you just got to be aware of these things are going to happen. And so I kill the Criterion that took 5 million Warjacks to kill it, and then I buy another attack. I'm at synergy. I'm power 20 with my trench sword, and I just buy another attack on another Criterion. I think I'm doing some volley shots here and just putting them into whatever. I think I kill a Sludge Thrall. I think I kill this Sludge Thrall. And then I just buy my final attack into this Criterion in the middle, who then toughs and heals, and I just go, I am so done with these Criterions and trying to kill them. So then we go with the Trencher Rangers up the top. So we move guys up. So I made a positioning error here. So basically, what I do from now on is that if there's a scenario terrain piece, I need to put a buffer zone, essentially, because I keep forgetting about unit placement. And what kind of does here next turn is that the unit gets placed... Oh, a good thing I did do, and this was a good learning thing, is that when I was shooting that Sludge Thrall, I put everybody within outside of 4 inches of him. So even if he advanced after one evasive move, I still wouldn't be within exploding range. So then I drop a blocker. The blocker then sacrifices his movement to walk up into the terrain piece and contest it. So it wasn't a good turn. I'm very much losing on clock. I'm 17 minutes down on Connor at this point after his turn 2 and my turn 2. It was all mostly born through frustration and not knowing what to do with these models in the middle, because all I really needed to do was kill 3 Criterions and a Machine Wraith with 4 light Warjacks and 2 heavies, and somehow it came down to the last heavy to do it. And that's probably because I didn't have Jakes in the forest, to be fair, which severely limits where I can put her and what I can charge with her. Because what I've found in subsequent games is that you actually probably want her to be getting involved fairly early, because she's Mat 7 and she can boost. She's not spending her focus on a whole lot of stuff, and so you want her to be going in first, usually to trigger the synergy chain, and then allowing all of her Warjacks to be better and to punch up is what you want to do. And so with her behind that forest and not being able to move into it, I think I stuffed up with positioning there, because it meant that she wasn't able to go into the Machine Wraith and kill it to start the synergy chain, which made it harder for me to get into those Criterions. But anyway, we score 4, right? And Connor scores 1. He only scores 1 for his flag down the bottom left. I score 1 for the unit bottom right. I score the 2 Battle Engine Cohort 50s in the middle, and I score my flag on the top right. I'm feeling fairly confident at this point, but that confidence is 100% misplaced, because I think I've got those Sludge Thralls tied up in the corner, and I don't. And then down the bottom here, I know that he's going to have to come in with the Sludge Thralls onto my Gun Mages, but I really don't have a lot that can rescue them from that, and he can, if he comes off his flag, that's fine because he doesn't score the point, and he's probably not going to kill all 3 of my gun mages with his 3 blast attacks, but with his 3 Sludge Thralls spray attacks, and so I'm probably still going to be contesting that one by the end. And even if he does get some guys and give them corrosion, they're probably going to be tough. Like, at least one of these guys is going to tough, and they are going to still contested objectives. So down the bottom, I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to score, he's not going to score, right? So he comes up. They're not within feet range, obviously. So he sprays, one guy toughs and corrosions, the next guy toughs and corrosions, and then he misses the third guy. So it's not too bad, right? He hasn't done a whole lot. And then he's looking at his options of where this Warjack is going to go. And so what that tells me, unfortunately it doesn't work out this way, but what that means to me is that he's sacrificing this flag, essentially, to come in. And so I think that works out in my favour. And I think last turn I killed a random Stitch Thrall, so I think this unit on the bottom left here, underneath the white Cephalix dude, is it's only able to empower maybe once, because that's a quicksand that it's standing in, so it means it's not that fast, but then as it turns out it doesn't matter anyway. So I just moved the blocker in because I realised the blocker has Pathfinder innately, so it can move into the rough terrain and engage the models and be wholly within the terrain, which is important for my survivability. So the Stitch Thralls come back, they bring in the Necrosurgeons come back in and drop down another Sludge Thrall. I hate that mechanic, but anyway, it's fine. Bring back an 8 wound model, whatever. I know it's only got 1 wound, but still, it's still silly. So now we move the building out of the way because I'm like, oh yeah, there's a camera. I can show people what's behind it. So this Warjack goes in. You can have a look at the damage table on the right. He's not doing a whole lot of damage to my blocker, who is a 13-18. But this is a fully empowered Malefactor. He's not taking out any of the systems except for the Cortex, and he leaves him on 1 box. So that's annoying because for him, it's good for me obviously, but that's annoying because what he wants to do is clear off that blocker so that those Sludge Thralls can then advance and get onto my terrain piece. And so at this point I'm pretty happy with the fact that they are there, but his movement is out. If his movement was up, I reckon I'm in with a chance here to essentially stop him from scoring that flag and stop him from scoring that unit objective and stop him from scoring my flag. Because his movement's out, he's only Def 9 in combat. He's got the Malefactor down the bottom with a with the Harpoon, which he can shoot into it and kill. And it's probably not a bad use of the Harpoon Malefactor because I don't think there's much that he can drag without it being shield guarded at this point. So now we're looking up some rules. I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at. I'm still feeling pretty confident, especially now that the bottom objective is secure, and I may not be scoring it, but I know that he's not scoring it, and that's pretty important for me. I know that he can contest these 2 objectives in the middle, but whatever he brings in there, I have the ability to punch back fairly strongly, in my opinion. I've still got a couple of Rowdies there that are probably going to live. I've got one in the forest who's got Prowl that he's probably not going to be able to get to, so that guy gives me a good launching pad for the rest of the Rowdies, depending on where they go. I've got the Unstoppable card, so I can use that to pull Rowdies out of combat if I really want to. And I'm hoping that he will kill one of these Rowdies in the middle so that I can get a Butcher's Bill trigger. Because if he kills one of the models in the middle, I can Butcher's Bill, move something up, Eviscerus is open, because many of these models I can move into that forest in the middle, and I can probably get to Eviscerus with something. Depends what it is, but I can probably get to him with something. So this guy goes for a walk. I think maybe we forget that was quicksand, because I'm sure that Necrosurgeons aren't speed 8. Necrosurgeons. Yeah, definitely not speed 8. So they're speed 6. So he probably shouldn't have been able to get that guy into that objective. He might have given them, actually, what he might have done, he might have given them Ghostly with Andrew. Maybe I think that's what we were looking up to see if you can ignore it. So what he does is he moves up, he then does Grim Returns on his own unit member, from the one at the back to bring another one back to get to score that flag. So that's a bit sneaky tech. I quite like that. So he's able to do that, and that's fair enough. Like Cryx jank, right? So he does is a Carrion Feast. It's the -2 armor spell, which is Carrion Feast. So while in the cloud, enemy models are -2 armor. Criterions then go for a charge, and so if you got -2 armor from Criterion, not Criterion, Carrion Feast, it may as well be Criterion Feast at this point. So Carrion Feast, so that Warjack, even though it's armor 21, is actually armor 17. So Def is the only thing that's going to save me here, and then kind of just rolls insanely. So these Criterions are just punching through my Def 14 like it's nothing. They don't care because they're Criterions, and Criterions don't care. He needs 7s. He rolls the 7s and just removes the heavy Warjack from the table, which is painful. But now I've got the Criterions in the middle, kind of where I want them, because if they're in the middle, I can deal with them. The problem is he then moves up the Harpoon Malefactor to contest the blue cohort objective. He boosts hit and damage into that, into my blocker that's sitting on that objective, and because it's movement out, he kills it. Right, so he's able to really utilize that Malefactor by putting it in there, contesting the objective, and killing my blocker. He's moving up annoying Mechanithralls here, even with gang. So they're Def 16 on defeat. Even the Mechanithralls are needing 9s to hit these guys. 9s? Yeah, 9 sounds about right. 5+2 for gang, I believe is how they work. Mechanithrall Swarm, there we go. Map 5 with gang, so that's right. So they're essentially punchy, needing 9s. He doesn't roll any 9s. And then all my Warjacks are 15s and set defense, and yeah. So look, he doesn't really do much here. They're all pretty happy with how they're going. He's now going to go with this Warjack. So he's going to attempt to charge in. There are 2 Rowdies there that didn't die, so now he's going to try and charge in this Malefactor to kill the Rowdies and grunt me my Butcher's Bill, which may get me an assassination run in his caster. No. Even though he's boosting attacks, he still can't hit their Def 16, so he needs a 9 on 3 dice and just doesn't get it at any point. So the Rowdies live, which is annoying because I don't get Butcher's Bill. I would be more than happy to sacrifice one of them to get the Butcher's Bill, but it didn't work, so it's fine. So he's moving up Chattermax just to get in the way of Eviscerus, and then now he's doing the Bile Thralls. As you can see, he's got a charge lane to there. He can then place that guy that just came back this turn onto the flag terrain and contest it. If he doesn't do that, I'm feeling much stronger about this turn, but I didn't block properly. I've still in my head got Mark 2 screening, and Mark 2 screening doesn't work in Mark 4. So, and then he's just doing some attacks, doing some sprays, knocking some people down, doing all that kind of junk. All right, and that's basically it. So he's taken a lot of time as well. He's only got 5 minutes left at this point. So what I need to do, what I should be doing, is just killing things in the middle and trying to score that objective. But I need to kill a Malefactor on the left who's got a shield. I need to kill a Malefactor on the right who's got the Harpoon, and like that I should be able to. I should be able to do this turn in 10 minutes or whatever to keep me on point. But the problem is that, again, I haven't played this matchup. Oh yeah, the 2 trenches at the bottom die to corrosion, which is what I was talking about, the power 12s. Then I'm like, right, I need to clear this objective. I need to kill 2 Sludge Thralls. Old mate Dalton, I think, is in the forest, and he's within 10 inches charge range of that Sludge Thrall down there. The problem is that, again, the Rowdies are only armor 13, so when I kill a Bile Thrall, if I don't kill it with a melee attack, then I'm not going to be able to, like, I'm going to get exploded on, and that is never a good thing for Rowdies. So when I'm charging in, I'm with Silence of Death, I'm power 11, so it's dice -6, and he is armor 17, right? So I should be, on averages, rolling 14 on 4 dice. So each attack that I put into them should be able to grievous wounds and kill something, and then I get to do an extra move with killing spree, and then make another attack, and then the next guy should be able to make an attack to remove that model after the killing spree. It should just chain into basically making all of this better, and it's just, yeah, as you will see here, it doesn't work. That was the spike trap that I just landed on, and he's done 6 damage, I think, to that guy. So then we charge into this guy. We need a 14. We don't even get close to a 14. We do 6 damage and leave him standing. So I'm like, all right, I guess I won't take a shot. So the next one does a charge attack. And then again, I don't roll a 14, which means that that one's not dead. So there's 2 guys here that are left. So I'm like, all right, the last guy has to make an attack. And oh no, she shotguns, that's right, and I risk the shotgun here. He has evasive, so he moves on to the objective, so I shoot him again. Doesn't tough. He explodes onto my Rowdy and does 6 damage again. Now the other one charges, finally does enough damage to finish that one off. And then I reposition so that I'm capping that objective. So that's good. So I've got one objective down the bottom. Ideally, what was going to happen was I was going to kill all 3 of them, and then it's a non-issue. Next turn, I can put that single gun mage back on that, and the Rowdies can push up and shoot into some annoying Necrosurgeons. But that's not what happens. So we're now, like I'm at 5 minutes now. It just took me 10 minutes basically just to do the Rowdy activation and decide what I'm doing with them. So look, we're not in a good position at this point. We then go in and we start attacking stuff, trying to clear out models. I should be able to kill Mechanithralls, but again, the tough just happens. Again, what I should have probably done here is gone with Jakes into the Mechanithralls first, and then done some side steps and some attacks and some flashing blade, like flashing blades here. I completely forgot she had flashing blade, but right here I've got so many enemy models around me. Flashing blades would have been absolute money here, and then I can take my initials on something else, and then she can sprint out, basically. Not what I did, right? That's what I probably should have done, especially when I had that many models. So she just moves back. It doesn't matter where she's positioned at this point because I've got 4 minutes left on my clock anyway. So then the objective is I should be able to get one of these Valiants into the Malefactor, and with synergy up, I should be able to quite easily kill it. I need to kill these 3 Criterions, which again, with synergy up, I should be able to do. And then I need to kill that 1 Malefactor over on the right, and that's what I should be able to do with 4 lights and 2 heavies. You would expect that I should be able to... Oh no, sorry, 4 lights and 1 heavy, plus Jakes, I should be able to do that. But it's just, everything's just taking too much time, and I'm being thrown off by what I am or I'm not able to do. I've put the gun mages, those 3 gun mages at the top's charge, that Sludge Thrall, and at power strength 9, like dice minus 8, I feel like after a few attacks I should be able to kill it. And even with charges and gun attacks, I just can't kill that single Sludge Thrall up top. So they're just sad. So we start moving things around here. Doing synergy chains, models moving up. I need to kill this Malefactor. I need to get my Valiant to power strength. What does it go to on the charge? 22, I want to say, which is quite good against the, armor 20 Malefactor. And then you straight dice essentially on the rest of the attacks if you get to that point. With the trench blade goes to, it goes to 20. So you're a straight dice. So look, one of my Warjacks should be able to kill that Malefactor. And then I got 3 lights that should be able to kill Criterions. You would hope. They can't, but you would hope that you would be able to in a realistic world. As you can notice, the clock is gone now, so I've clocked myself, and I've just said, hey, can we just play out the rest of this turn? So if I had an extra 5 or 10 minutes, I know what position I'd be in after doing all this stuff. So we go in, we make some attacks into Criterions. Oh yeah, that's right. We do this just so he can walk and doesn't have to charge, because I'm not doing aggressive heads in this game. So he's mat 10, needing 3s to hit, doing damage, doing a lot. Stab, 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 whack, whack, whack. I think I missed one. Do I miss one? I can't remember. Then you remember he has Retaliatory Strike, so I let him have the Retaliatory Strike. Do some more attacks into that Malefactor. And then we kill him. So at this point I've activated everything, and that's the end of the game. So I will score one more from the objective at the bottom right, and that's it. And so I just got this point because he scored one because he got his flag. He scored two because he got his unit objective at the top. And I just went, yeah, I score 1 tier 2. Even if I had an ideal turn, I didn't get there. And I think what that came down to is that because that Valiant got taken, so a 4-point model essentially was able to capture my 13-point Valiant and kill it, it meant that my ability to retaliate against his army was so limited. Because if my Valiant is still sitting there and he brings his Criterions up, the Valiant with Synergy 3 can probably kill all those all the Criterions himself, right? I don't know, maybe he doesn't move the Criterions up if that's the case, which makes it easy for me to score, but I think that the entire game basically cascaded from that point where I wasn't able to, where I was basically playing 13 points down from second turn. So that's not to take anything away from Connor. Connor's a great opponent. Connor is a very good player. I just think that I hamstrung myself in this game by making that very easy mistake first thing in the game. I looked at all that stuff behind the forest. I don't know what any of it is. Like, I know that it's undead models. I know some things have apparates, some things don't. And so I just missed completely that thing was there. As soon as I position that Valiant out of 13 inches, I think it's a very different game. And essentially in the middle, once his Warjacks are dead, which they probably would have been by the end of my turn 3, then I have free reign over that stuff in the middle, and I think that I just ride the rest of the game to victory just through those 2 points, and because he can't really throw enough stuff at me to keep me out, to stop me from scoring those 2 objectives in the middle. So that was the game. Thank you everybody for watching the video. It takes a while to edit these things and to do the voiceovers, and I've got 3 kids, and so I have to do it basically when the 2 youngest ones are asleep, and make some time to do this. So I appreciate you watching. If there's any feedback that you would like to provide, please do so in the comments below, or just reach out to me on Discord or Facebook or wherever you can speak to me. The comment section is the one that I'll probably see the most about these videos, and I will make modifications as such. I'm pretty happy with how it's going at the moment compared to the videos that I used to make. I think these ones are a little bit more polished, a little bit more finished, and a few extra effects thrown in. But if you do have any constructive feedback, I'm always open to it. Alright, so thanks very much for watching again, guys, and I will see you probably for the next video drop in 2 weeks' time.